Okay guys, welcome back. Like take 3 already because I've been messing up. I've been stumbling upon my words for the past few takes. So for the third time, we'll be talking about boss battles today. And I'm gonna enter and you can see that there are 2 different difficulties of boss battles. And basically you want to score as high as possible in terms of the battle scores. Like these 2 battle scores combine to give you in global right now there are 2 different difficulties, just 2 only. So you wanna like fight both difficulties and obtain a score for each of them. And if you add those 2 scores together, you can get your combined score over here. And every single there are basically different milestones, and right now I'm not sure if JP has like higher milestones, but up to now in global the highest milestone is only 1200 points. So basically what you want to do is for now aim for a combined score of 1200 points. So I can't really show the previous milestones because I've already like claimed them, but basically you get like the the only notable thing I can remember is like 5-star awakening stone, and the most important one in my opinion is the milestone at 1200 points, which is the 50 anvils, especially because now like a lot of people are using they're spending millions of gold on rerolling substats on equipments and enhancing them. So people aren't really getting anvils as reliably from having from equipment pools, because most of the time we won't have spare gold to use for that. So this is a decent amount of anvils that you can get every week if you manage to hit the 1200 points milestone. So basically there will be hard mode and normal mode. Honestly my team isn't that stacked right now, so I actually had to do hard mode like many tries, because actually it was mainly because I had like really bad RNG, and like I'm not gonna go through the tactics right now. I'm just gonna click on normal first. This wait, oh, I haven't changed the team out yet. Okay, just give me a sec. I'll change my team out. Basically if you wanna get a high score in this game mode, you want like a really strong nuker. And for me that would have to be Jericho. She's probably like the best nuker right now when it comes to the global version. So you definitely want to have Jericho. What am I doing? Okay, let me bring my good stuff. Link it up. Oh, and by the way, I'm just gonna put it out there first that my Jericho has a dupe on her ultimate, so she's currently 2-6, and that's because I did like a few more summons that I didn't record, which is like a really bad habit of mine. I was just outside with my friends and then I decided to pop a couple of multis and I managed to pull another copy of Jericho. I don't think I have geared them yet. Or have I? I'm pretty sure I've geared my Merlin. Oh yeah, and by the way, my Gustav is like really weak right now, so I just slapped on like my defense and HP set from my king onto Gustav, hoping he would survive a bit longer. So yeah, and he's literally like 0 stars, so he's like really weak right now. Am I missing something? I feel like I'm missing something. Okay, so everyone has their equipments, and let me check the links real quick. Okay. Okay. So basically, how you want to score points is that let me just click on this. Basically, you beat like as long as you beat the boss, you get 10 points. every time you move a card, you get 3 points. If you go one turn without using any skills, you get 5 points. Combine skills to rank them up, you get another 3 points, and then you use rank 1 skill, rank 2 skill, rank 3 skills, and you get 1 point, 3 points, and 10 points respectively. And every time you use an ultimate, it is 20 points. And number of applied debuffs is like plus 5 points. Basically, any sort of debuffs will count towards this. So you can bring in, so like Jericho's bleed ability counts as a debuff, and this buff you can use Hellbrum cause he buffs I believe his attack related stats. I might be wrong on that one. And you can get plus 2 points, and and the thing is that plus 2 points might not seem like a lot, but like when you go into the fight, when you enter the fight, you'll be 4 of your characters in the field at the same time. So if you use a buffing ability, you'll be, as long as all your characters are alive, you'll get an additional 8 points. And it really depends on what rank it is, and you just get bonus points of that. And recovery skill like King Elizabeth's with healing, and then every time you crit, you get 5 more points. So that's why like Jericho is probably the best unit for this right now, because she crits a lot. And she applies a debuff on her with her bleed. And here there's additional points proportional to the number of surviving heroes. Basically what this means is that you just don't want like any of your characters to die, or you'll get less points. Additional points proportional to missing HP, so you want to end off the battle with as high of a HP as possible. Additional points proportional to team combat class, so the higher combat class you have, the more points you'll obtain. Additional points proportional to great damage dealt against enemy. I think that's supposed to be greatest damage dealt to enemy. So basically they want you to like nuke the boss. So basically you wanna like set up one hit that like you want like an ultimate or level 3 skill, depending on what you're using. You want one singular hit to be like the highest possible damage that you can produce, and point deduction proportional to turns used. So basically the more turns you do, the less points you end up with. So okay. So because of this, mainly because of this, additional points proportional to, okay, I'm just gonna say greatest damage dealt against enemy. And since Jericho, let me just show you her abilities. Okay, this, if you didn't already know, this is the card that applies bleed, so it's counted as a debuff, so you get like the additional points there. It's her out that really makes her like really amazing for this fight, because this is a level 2 Jericho out. So if you're talking about the level 1 Jericho out, it obviously won't have the same multiplier. But you can see, like as you hit, as you get more and more hits in with your Jericho, your crit chance just increases. So there will be many hits whereby you'll be crit, so you just get bonus points. And plus, if you didn't already know, her out makes it so that like it doubles her crit damage on her out. So basically, if you hit enough times, then your Jericho basically gets guaranteed crits. And when you get guaranteed crits, you just double your damage. Your crit damage just doubles, and it's already a high multiplier. So that's why Jericho hits really hard. As for equipment, it's pretty decent, but the substats aren't the best for Jericho, because enviews are pretty hard to come by right now, and I really need to reroll. Attack is good, obviously. Pierce rate is, I don't think is that good on Jericho. Attack, and then crit damage is pretty decent on Jericho as well. And for this pierce rate, there's like a lot of pierce rate on this. I still need to get on. I still need to reroll these stats, but yeah. So basically, like my Jericho can like actually perform better, but I have like pierce rate substats right now, so it's not optimal. And this crit damage is okay for Jericho, but it's a pretty low value. I know that you can run like 4 attack gear and 2 crit damage gear to get like the most out of your crits, but I mean I really just wanted to do like 4 attack and 2 defense because I used to use Jericho in PvP and I wanted like the extra survivability. I probably should have gone for crit damage though. I haven't like exactly like experimented with it yet, but I'll probably swap this into crit damage. These two into crit damage like in the near future. Most likely. There I might just keep it as attack and defense because not many characters use crit damage. It's just like a selected few. But as for this, there's resistance here, but it's not good. I'm gonna reroll it. Like as you can see, I have like no end views right now, and for yeah, it's not the best. Yeah. So her gear isn't like exactly top tier or anything. Like there's 4 SSR gear, but the substats aren't the best. And for these two, it's just regular defense and HP. So nothing too special there. Obviously she's like 6 stars and level 70, so she's gonna hit like decently hard. So the game plan here is I'm not bringing in King because I'm gonna bring in Merlin. And the reason behind that is because Merlin has the perfect cube and I will get like a damage mitigation for my Gustav, because my Gustav right now is like really weak. He literally has 0 stars. So like I already gave him like HP and defense gear, but he still goes down pretty easily. So I want the damage mitigation because and as well as Merlin has the outgauge removal. So as long as you have 1 outgauge removal card, you can actually like stop the guild boss from outing because his outgauge can be removed. Because if I get unlucky and example I use King and then I don't remove the outgauge and the guild boss targets Gustav, there's a chance that he's going to die. And because let me just go back to this part. What is it? Additional points proportional to the number of surviving heroes. So like in case I'm just gonna play it safe and try not to let my Gustav die as best as I can, because I'll be losing out on points if he dies. And on top of and for Gustav, he's only really used for his freezers, because if you didn't already know, his freeze, like after you freeze a target, or you need the additional after you freeze a target, you can hit into them and do additional damage. But the problem is that it doesn't work on his level 1. It only works on his level 2 and 3. At level 2, if you hit an enemy that is frozen, you do 80% additional damage, and for level 3 you do 200% additional damage. So it's actually like huge. Like considering Jericho hits ridiculously hard, this just amplifies the damage by a disgusting amount. And for Guild Thunder, he's just there for his buffing card, to be honest. Like the other skills aren't really like important in this game mode. It's just to maximize Jericho's damage in this game mode. Okay, so now I've given a brief overview. So as for food, I actually ran out of the combat class food, but you can run combat. I feel like you can run combat class food because there's a criteria that basically increases. There's like additional points depending on like how much combat class you have. But I actually ran out of combat class food because I was using it for my hard mode. I did like 20 attempts or something, probably more than that, because I was like just short of the end view, so I pretty much used up everything. But I still have this though. this one makes it so that I do 20% more crit damage. But the problem with this is that this game mode is that it's highly dependent on your RNG. But on the bright side, like there isn't any cost for you to like attempt a stage. So basically, as long as you have your food, you can just have unlimited attempts. You can just keep going back in and re-attempting and try and have a better score each time. So that's one thing good about this game mode, I guess. But I can't stress this enough. It's actually like heavily reliant on RNG. Like there are times whereby, okay, so basically what you wanna do is you build up Jericho and get her out. Afterwards, you want to get as high level of a freeze as you can from Gustav, and as high of a level of a attack boost as you can from Gil Thunder, and then you want to freeze a target, attack boost your team with Gil Thunder, and then like hit this guy with Jericho's out and pray that he crits. Okay, so first of all, what I want to do is I want to set up my perfect cube, because this will give my team a bit more survivability and it counts as a buff, so I will get 8 points off the bat. And since it's a rank 1 skill, I'll get like 1 more point, so just by using this ability, I'll be getting 9 points already. And first turn, I just like to waste my cards. Like, I'll either use this Gil Thunder's one or Gustav's one. I'm just using them to like clear up space for other cards. So I'm just gonna use this first, and then double Jericho cards. Oh. So yeah, my Gil Thunder isn't really doing damage, but he's not really here for his damage. So as you can see, the normal guild boss isn't the tankiest, but I mean, that like you get a lot of points from doing the normal one as well if you get decent RNG. Like most of the time, like you can't get the highest possible score in your first run. You have to like keep going back in to try and obtain the highest score possible. Right here, I'm just gonna shift the Gustav cards together because I want a level 3 freeze. And then I'm just gonna waste. I'm not sure if I wanna get Jericho's out this turn though, because the thing is that if I don't use this card and just use 2 swaps, I can swap Jericho's card once and then use it and I'll get my out. But I think I'll just rather clear cards right now, because I'll save this card just in case I don't get a second Jericho card next turn. So I can, worst comes to worst, I can just move it around for 1 additional out gauge. Yep, as you can see, my Gustav's out really doesn't do much because he's level 60, 0 stars, and he's like, he has HP defense gear, and he doesn't exactly hit the hardest anyway. So right here, what I want to do is I'm gonna get my Jericho's out. As you can see, I have my out right now. I'm gonna remove his out gauge because he has his out right now, and I'm gonna use Gustav's out because this is definitely not going to kill him. He's green and my Gustav is really weak, so I'm gonna do that. So worst comes to worst, I'll have a level 2 freeze and a level 2 attack boost. Hopefully I get another freeze, a level 1 freeze right here. It'll be nice. I use the out because it won't kill it, and plus you get like more damage when you get more damage. I mean, sorry. You get more points every time you use an out. So unfortunately, I didn't get another freeze card, so I'm going to stall for 1 more turn and pray that I get it next. I'm hoping my Jericho doesn't kill. If she crits, my Jericho might do enough damage to kill him, which is what I do not want. Maybe I shouldn't. Oh. Oh, I think that was a bad play. He might die to the bleed here actually. Hopefully he doesn't die to the bleed. Looks like I'm not getting my Gustav's freeze. So I'm just gonna go in because he's pretty much dead right now anyways. So this is not the most optimal setup. Ideally you want a level 3 boost and a level 3 freeze, and then you throw in your Jericho's out afterwards to do the most damage. But right here what I want to do is I'm gonna attack boost. I'm going to do a level 2 freeze, and then I'm just gonna move my card around so I can get 3 more points for moving a card, and then I'm gonna finish with a Jericho out. The problem with this is that this part is RNG dependent as well, because as you can see the normal difficulty doesn't have the most resistance, doesn't have the most defenses and HP. So what that means is that he dies really quickly. So like you can't. I just lost my train of thought. Wow. So like you can. What was I saying? Okay, I'm just gonna say I'm just gonna say, like, as you can see, like I've used Gustav's out plus Jericho's out, so that was 2 outs, right? That's why I got plus 40 points, cause each out was 40. Each out is 20 points. So you wanna use as many. You wanna try and use as many outs as possible. So you can get the most number of points, and you don't want to drag out the fight for too long. So as you can see, you can tell that like it's really RNG dependent, because you are just praying for the optimal conditions. Level 3 Gil Thunder boost and level 3 Gustav or Merlin, Red Merlin freeze. But if you bring in Red Merlin, then you can't bring in the Green Merlin obviously, because they are the same character. So you'll probably bring in like a king or something to help with survivability if you need it. But as you can see, it's really RNG dependent. Oh yeah, I think I remember what I was about to say. So since like as you can see, I got like nearly 500 points right here. It's definitely not my best run, because as you can see, you can definitely see a better score I got. But Jericho hit for like around like 450k I believe, which is really decent honestly. As you can see, it's definitely not the best run, and you can see that like if you want to obtain the higher score, you can't really like do one attempt and leave it at that. You want to keep going back in to ensure that you can hit the highest points possible, the highest amount of points possible. And because like the points are combined, you want to score high points of both of them. For hard mode, it's basically the same thing, but the problem is that he just hits harder and he's just tankier. He's just a harder version of the normal mode, but he's basically the same thing. It's just like harder in difficulty obviously. So like you wanna have high scores for both of them, but the problem with the normal mode is that since it's like much less tanky, it is much less tankier. He just dies much quicker, and that isn't really a good thing. Like you might think that if he dies faster, you might think that if he dies faster, let me see. Let me show you guys. This one. Point deduction proportional to turn use. So you wanna kill him as fast as possible. But the problem is that with Jericho, her passive works in the way whereby you get 10% crit chance every single ability use on with her. But the thing is that since it's so squishy, you can't really get that many Jericho attacks off on him before you do your setup of the boosting, Gil Thunder or Merlin freeze, and then Jericho nuke. You can't really get that many hits in. What that means is that when you out, there's a decent chance Because the more number of hits you do, the higher your crit chance you get. So since you can't do that many hits, your outs have a decent chance of not critting. And because RNG can screw you over by not giving you the right cards, it might take you like a lot of tries to get like the perfect lineup. Like I've done this like many times. There are times whereby I only got Gil Thunder's cards, attack cards, or boost cards. There are times whereby I only got like the freeze cards. There are times whereby I got neither. There are times whereby I got both the boosts and the freezers. But I didn't get Jericho cards at all. So I was just taking way too many turns. So my score ended up being really low, even though I was getting my boosts and my freezers. So what I'm trying to say, you should probably already be able to understand by now. It's really RNG dependent, and there are times whereby I only got like Jericho cards with like Gil Thunder cards or like Gustav cards, and there are times whereby I only got Jericho cards. So it's gonna take a couple might be an understatement, but you have to take like a decent amount of tries, unless you're like really lucky, to get like the maximum point number of points out there. So yeah, you can't really rush this. You have to do this over and over again. But as I've already said, there's no entry fee, so you can do as much as you want. Just make sure that you have enough food. You really wanna push, like you really wanna try and push for the 1,200 point mark, because 50 end views. It's really difficult to get 50 end views right now. If you're talking about a PvP shop, like every 200 PvP coins you get 10 end views, so you need 1,000 of them to get 50 end views. And when you're at 1,000, you're already close to getting a UR weapon anyways. So I feel like it's just better to just get UR weapons from the PvP coin shop. So if you don't do that, the only other reliable methods really are just the guild boss and your equipment draws. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, equipment draws. So yeah, make sure you guys like work on guild bosses, because they are really important. They also pushes up your alliance's ranking. So yeah, that's really important as well. But for hard mode, as you can see, the enemy CC is 1,000. Oh my god, 120,000. What that means is that like I can't really run this team right here. Like I can use combat class foot and push past 120k CC, so I would go first. But the problem is, it wouldn't really work out for me, because my Gustav right now is really weak. If you have like a 4-star, 5-star Gustav at maybe like level 70, I would say, level 65, 70, or like your Gustav is like really tanky for some reason, and you have like if your whole lineup is like they can survive, like your entire lineup is able to survive through the guild boss's attacks in hard mode like decently well, you guys I would recommend you guys not to go all out on like damage, because if you run Gil Thunder and Gustav, you are going for like the maximum damage. You can run Hellbrum as well, but my Hellbrum isn't leveled up, because I'm not really a huge fan of that character. I mean, I like Hellbrum as a character, but I'm not a huge fan of that unit itself, so I haven't really like upgraded it. It's just like level 50 SSR right now. But my team for hard mode, because my team for hard mode was Jericho, King, Diane, and Merlin. Basically, I was just playing it really safe, and I was just constantly using Perfect Cube and King's Healing to get past it, because my team isn't exactly the strongest right now, and I can't clear it with ease like how I do it with what do I call it? Normal. But wait, hold on. Never mind. It was okay actually. Yeah. I was doing, I don't know why I was confusing Like I don't know why I was like confusing myself right there. But like honestly, like if you have a stacked Jericho and you have decently leveled Viewfinder and Gustav, and if you're fortunate to have Merlin, then you can just run this team. Like you get a really really high amount of points. But obviously you can't like have the same amount of setup as the normal boss because he definitely hits harder. So you can't like really drag it out or you just die unless you get like perfect cubes and heals from your king like every other turn. So yeah, my highest battle score for the hard mode isn't the best, but I mean it was enough for me to hit 1200 points. But the thing is that I had to like have many attempts on this because like once again like it's really RNG dependent, so you guys should like you guys should try and like hit you guys should just keep entering and like re-attempting this and push for the highest possible score you can get. So I believe that's about it. So I hope you guys enjoy. I sincerely hope that this actually helped you guys out because like I honestly I didn't really understand what people were saying. Like I mean I did, but it really wasn't working for me. But after I managed to like build like level up my Gustav a bit more and my Geo Thunder a bit more, like it was actually like pretty manageable honestly. If you have a decent team. Like I had my Gustav at like level 50 and my Geo Thunder at level 65 and I was constantly getting destroyed in hard mode, so I actually substituted my team out. The team that the team that I talked about just now, like previously, before this team, was the one with King, Jericho, DN and someone else. The basically that team you don't want to go for this exact team setup right here if your team is like if your roster is really weak and you don't have the like decent equipment, because this team is just to max out your damage, but if you can't really clear it with this current setup without dying, then I feel like it'll be better to just at least clear have a safe clear, like have a safe initial clear so you can at least get a decent amount of points for your guild. Knighthood I guess, but I just find the term guild to be easier to say, so I just refer it as guild. So yeah, if you can't push for the highest amount of points, just play it safe. Just do like you can just use like a Merlin if you have her, or you can use like an Elizabeth for healing, or you can use there's a Guerrier somewhere here. I'm blind, so it's taking me a while. Yeah, this Guerrier right here. If you don't have the Green Merlin, you can actually use this guy, because Green Merlin has a card that is she has perfect cube, which basically just creates a barrier that absorbs damage. Like it just tanks damage for your allies. So this Guerrier right here, it is at base is an SR and is the red one. You can build him up. He's actually a decent unit. You can build him up if you don't have the Green Merlin. You can use him as a substitute because he has this card. Wall. Creates a barrier around allies equal to 150% of attack for 2 turns. So it's basically the same thing as Merlin. It just creates a barrier and tanks for you. So this is basically the budget Green Merlin, because since he's a SR, he has worse stats than Merlin, which is who is SSR at base. So yeah, that's about it guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope that I was able to like help you guys out at least a slight amount. So I'm just hoping you guys can like make use of this guy and try and get a higher amount of points, so you guys get better rewards. So yeah, that's about it, guys. See you guys in next video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you guys have enjoyed the video. See you guys.